Hello, in this video, let us use the table to make a sketch. Sometimes we are asked to use the table of values to make a sketch. And suppose we have an equation. Let's use the same one we had in a different example. Let's say 3/2 x plus 4. And this time we will make a graph of this using the table. So the table of values means that we get to choose some values for x or y. And we can choose, the way this works is we pick some number for either x or y, but not both. That's very important. We never choose two numbers, we only choose one, either x or y. And we use our equation to find the second number. So if I chose x, if I chose x here, I would use my equation, substitute the x, and use it to get the y that actually goes with that particular x. Or I could choose the y and then rearrange my equation and get the x out of it. But I only choose one, either x or the y, never both. So what could you choose? Well, zeros are usually one of the easiest numbers to use. So let's say I wanted to use 0 for the x. Well, if x is 0, that means y is 3/2 times 0 plus 4. Well, following the order of operations, we do multiplication first. 0 times anything is 0, which makes this whole thing disappear. And that makes y equals 4. So we now have 1 point. This is one ordered pair, 0 for the x, 4 for the y, and we can already plot it if we wanted to. But it takes 2 points to make a straight line. So where is the second point? We can choose any other number for the x. Let's say I chose 1. If I chose 1, I see that I would have y equals 3/2 times 1 plus 4, which is 3/2 is plus 4, we need a common denominator. Common denominator is 2, so we need to times by 2, both top and bottom. 3, and then 4 plus 2 is 8, which makes 11 over 2. And that is a point on our graph. If we're using some sort of a technology like my math lab or Alex or something else, oftentimes we would be asked to fill in the table, but there would be only whole numbers, no fractions or decimals. In that case, we need to choose something else for the x, something that will not give us a fraction. We notice that there is a 2 on the denominator, so any number we choose for the x, if it cannot be divided by 2, will end up as a fraction. So let's choose something that can be divided by 2, such as 2, 4, 6, any multiple of 2 would work. So for next point, let us choose 4. So if I have y equals 3/2 times 4 plus 4, well, 2 goes into 4 twice, that makes 3 times 2 is 6, plus 4 is 10, so I have 4, 10. That's the second point, 4, 10. And with these two, I can make a sketch. Now, here is a sketch pad. Let's make our coordinate axis. And the first point was 0, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 4 is here. That was our y-intercept. And the second point was 4, 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we would be somewhere here. So these are the 2 points. It only takes 2 points to make a straight line, and here they are. That's the 2 points. We connect them, and we get a straight line. That's it. Now, if we wanted to check our work, we could also check it with the calculator, because the calculator already has a table feature built into it. So as we did in the previous video, let's once again type it in and see here. So here is our equation from the 3/2 x plus 4. That's the same one. And if we go to the picture, here is what it looks like. Now we can actually check our points using the value, because the value is the x coordinate. So I apologize. The value is the y coordinate. So if I go to second, calculate, and I want to know the value, it gives me, if I have x, it will compute what y goes with it. Y is the value. So if x is 0, that's our point, 0, 4. That's the first one we found in the table. The second point we found using value was 4. So if I plug in 4 for the x, I should see 10 on my picture. And there is 10. We can see the y coordinate is 10. There is the blinker right there. So both points from the table, 0, 4 and 4, 10, ended up on my straight line. On the same straight line that I was given, which means I was able to come up with this equation, with this line, with the sketch correctly, because that sketch goes through the points on my table. And I can also check it here with the table. So here's the same table. 0, 4 was one of them, and then 4, 10, that's the second one we found. We can see 1 is 5.5. 5.5 is 11/2. That's what we found here. That is our 5.5. That's the same. But oftentimes it would be easier to plug in whole numbers as opposed to fractions. We do choose numbers that are smaller. So if we, let's say, plug in 40, that number would be divisible by 2, but the y is going to be rather big, and it may be difficult to sketch. So we usually choose smaller numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, something that is small and that does not give us fractions, something that when you substitute it would give us the answer as a whole number. And that's it for this video. Thanks a lot. Take care.